Hello, hello. Good to see y'all. How's it going, Jeff? I always pick you out first.
Hey, Marcus, top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're just getting started here, so go get that delicious coffee ready or tea. Gonna have some great conversation tomorrow. I do have some announcements to make, but I'll wait for a few minutes until we get more people on here. It's only 9 hours time right now. Oh, look at that. Good to see you in that car, Tommy, with that cool dog and your kid in the background. Yeah, thumbs up. Keep your eyes on the road. Keep your eyes on the road. Got some. Hey, John. Deborah, we could use some lighting on your camera over there. There we go. Now I can see you better.
Hey, since Leon's not here yet, I'll be the bad guy. Let's see some videos on here. Open up, kids.
That's awesome. Yeah, better you say it than I will. Get your videos on. This is what the mastermind's all about. I mean, I get it. If you're somewhere where you can't have video, I understand,
I don't get it. Look at
Well,
Tommy.
well, yeah, look at Tommy, no excuse, right? As long as Tommy keeps his eyes on the road. But yes, bring your video on. This way we can talk. We can talk and you can talk and ask questions. This is what the mastermind's for, everybody. This meeting particularly has been going on for at least 5 years every Wednesday. And this is what keeps you coming back. If you're coming to this meeting, most likely you're winning at StreetText.
Plus Tommy's with the child and dog. I love it.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Gotta drop the son off.
Yeah, you bet, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna make a few of you a co-host if I see you coming in. Oh, there's Leon.
You mind if I eat my breakfast?
Of course, eat your breakfast. What are you eating?
Sure.
Total
Say that again.
strawberries.
Okay. All right. You guys ready? Sean, want to make you a co-host as well there, buddy, so you can do your thing?
We're ready when you're ready.
Leon. All right. I was waiting for you because the meeting can't start without you.
And I'm coming at you from Phoenix, Arizona. So no matter where I'm at in the world, anything's possible.
Awesome. Okay, so I do have a quick announcement for everybody. We have a webinar tomorrow at 11 a.m. A webinar tomorrow at 11 a.m. with Smart Alto. Okay? It's going to be worth checking out if you can make it, or at least watch the recording after. But I think you're going to see some awesome opportunities with integrating with Smart Alto if possible. And I believe it's kind of like an automated Smart Alto. So I'll tell you what Smart Alto is based on what I'm reading into it. And Josh Shonley has been using them at a high level for a while. But tomorrow's webinar is Stop Chasing Leads. We'll do it for you. So these are real estate ISAs that qualify your leads, more text message based type of thing. They have automatically filter your real estate leads, qualify them, and schedule 5 times more appointments so you can crush your revenue goals. So something to check out tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay, and I'll put the link for you guys really quickly in the comments right here. Let's start off with wins. Who has some wins they want to share today? Wins, wins, wins. Remember, they don't have to be appointments that you've converted yet. It could be just, hey, I got a conversation. I did a bomb video. I integrated with KV Core. Whatever it is, I want to hear it. What was a win for you this last week? Or maybe you implemented something from the last week's mastermind.
I had a great win. I had a close on Friday of an 80-acre dairy farm. And in addition, they were also a buy for their downsized home. And that was a StreetText lead that I got back this fall. So
What?
ends up.
Okay, tell us more. An 80-acre dairy farm.
Yep.
Through
And
the
it's
text ad through the what ad?
through the What's Your Home Worth?
Wow. And so what does an 80-acre dairy farm sell for?
Well, it's 570. And keep in mind, my average sale is, or in our market is 185. So that's always a 2 thumbs up. Plus their buy was a 300,000. So it was a good day all the way around.
That is an amazing day. So how did the conversation start with that lead? Like where did it begin? What did you follow up? What was it like?
Well, I ended up leaving a voicemail, didn't hear back, and then sent a text. And he called me after I texted him. And that was probably after a span of about 4 or 5 days after they had gotten the CMA. So I got the request, sent the CMA probably within a couple of days, then left a voicemail, and then sent him a text a couple of days later. He called me back and said, all right, tell me a little bit more about what this is. So we scheduled an appointment for me to go out, because I said, of course, based on what's in the tax information, I'm sure there's a lot more for me to be able to see and understand and value. So it started all there.
Good job. See, being tenacious.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Follow up is good, by the way.
Yeah, follow-ups is important. Now, what do you have as far as like I was just coming off another presentation, and we were talking about must-have integrations with StreetText. What are your must-have integrations with StreetText?
With my CRM, which happens to be RealVolve, but I honestly just think you just need to have a CRM and be integrated with it. And then I also have BombBomb. So I think those two are
big ones for you. Are you a HomeBot user?
I am. I just signed up last week. So yes, I think that's going to be a good time saver for me, because I was doing a lot of manual CMAs, and to be able to have the HomeBot thing, I think will just kick things off a little bit quicker for me. So.
Okay, awesome. And I will recommend, if you are going that direction, check out the webinar we did with Linnea Carver on bringing in that preferred lender, because that
already did.
Good. Okay, that'll open up the video side for you, and now you'll have video automations for StreetText, video automations for HomeBot, and then, as you know, StreetText slowly here, we're pounding on Steve's door right now, is releasing the retargeting feature.
Yep.
Which is going to be huge as a retargeting opportunity there too.
Yep.
Awesome. Great share. Anyone else have questions for Paula or have another share?
What ad were you running, Paula?
I was running the What's Your Home Worth? Just straightforward, simple. And I had a picture of just a map of my Little Falls area. So.
Where are you located, you said?
I am in central Minnesota, Little Falls, Minnesota.
That is a great price.
Yeah, it is a great price.
Hey.
Like I said, my average is 185 for a sale. So Mama was happy.
I want an 80-acre dairy ranch. Do I get a house?
Oh yeah, there's a house, lots of barns.
Awesome. Well, move out to Minnesota, Wendy.
I think it's kind of cold there, isn't it?
That was the other thing. We actually sold it during the winter, which is crazy in itself. Yeah.
Right.
Cold is an understatement.
Yes, it is.
As I'm sitting here with the sunburn.
Michael Coleman, good to see your face. It's been a while, buddy.
I know. Honestly, I've actually been just really working referrals, luckily. And I took a break from StreetText for a bit. I started back up again like a couple weeks ago, and just been following up my old leads, and then going through HomeBot and really trying to just bring the life back out of whatever's in there. I did have some success with StreetText last year. I had a listing in a buy side, but just like you said, like consistency and like following up and everything. I did have a kind of a win last week, but he was kind of like, I feel like your home value thing was like a bait and switch. He's like, I'm already working with an agent. I'm like, well, I hope that didn't come off like, I don't know how that ad came off, the what's your home worth? And I said, so I talked to him, I educated him. He's actually buying a new home, but he's selling his current home. And I told him for things to watch out because I did new home sales for 8 years. So he was like, oh, wow, you educated me so much more than like anybody else has. I was like, well, yeah, it's because this is what I did. And so I hopefully have an appointment with him next week to sell his townhome. And I'm really, my sphere of influence has been a lot more of like buyers. And so listings have been a challenge for me. And that's why I have StreetText, is that's what I'm focusing on, is listings. But I also know that the buy side, if there's a buyer, there's potentially a seller as well. So that's what I got going on right now. But I have like 8 deals under contract right now.
Great job. And I'll encourage you, because you're such a video-centric person already with your YouTube channel. Go back and watch that webinar if you haven't with Linnea, just to see that lender, if you get that preferred lender, and that opens up the video element of HomeBot for you. And then you do all the videos in there. You do all the video integrations back in your drip email campaign. And then StreetText will be doing the retargeting soon. So you'll have that combination to be lethal, I think, for your long-term seller aspect. I
just saw that yesterday, actually logging in. It was like the video thing. Can you explain that a little bit? So if I make one video, obviously I have to make it so I can't be like, hi, Stephanie. It has to be like, hi, like it's talking to everyone in my lead pool, basically, correct?
Yes, it'll be more of a generic educational video from the HomeBot side. That'll be shooting out. And so as they're looking into different aspects of that HomeBot report, it'll be you just explaining it inside of there. And, you know, whether it's tuning their market value, the equity side, the mortgage side, all that, it'll just keep on your face front and center. And of course, as they're interacting with that, that's the important time to follow up, right? Because you get that feedback. That's your follow-up time.
Yeah, and that's why I've been looking at, like, under activity, under HomeBot, like who's like tuned their home value or what. So I'm trying to train myself to go in there every single day for like 20 minutes and kind of see what activity is going on and do my reach outs from there. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, good to have you back.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, you can also do one-on-one individual videos on HomeBot, but I think the real value is in being able to do the mass email out to the whole database.
Hey, one of the things in HomeBot you can do though also that's cool, if you run a bomb, when you do your daily activity and they're in there, just go ahead and create a video that just say, hey, it's Michael reaching out, see you on our site today, just want to see if you had any questions, because that's all I've been sending my seller folks. And then if they come back a second time, I can go on my phone and I can look to make sure I hadn't already sent them a text. If I've sent them a text with a video already, now I will send them something new if I'm not calling them directly. But yeah, it's just quite the time saver.
Wisdom drop. Hey, Richard, you have a question?
Yeah, just a little bit of a win. Good to see everybody. Going through like what Leon says, why pay for more leads if you aren't working the ones you already have? I did some of that, and I got a StreetText lead from over a year ago, who's also in my HomeBot and also in another CRM that I have. And I was able to dig her up and kind of reconnect. I called her and she answered the phone, and long story short, sent her a video like I do, a video CMA, did the whole thing. And just today she answered me back saying, wow, this is amazing. It's actually her dad's house and he's older, and we connected in that regard. It's in my old neighborhood. So anyway, long story short, I'll be meeting with her and her dad at some point, and hopefully getting that together in a place that I really want to work. So I'm happy about that. My process is like when HomeBot stuff comes in, whether it's through a StreetText ad or whatever else I'm using, I see the activity, I call them. I have a pre-made text thanks to Leon in my saved notes. I hit him with that. And if that doesn't go through, then I shoot him a message like Jeff just brought up directly through the HomeBot. Hey, I see you here, blah, blah, blah. You're checking it out. Good to see you. Let me know if you need anything. And good things are coming from that, just consistent activity. I'm working off of a schedule, which when I started this thing, I was pretty much all over the place. So I'm pretty excited. I'm happy that you guys are all here. You guys helped me get through it, so I'm going to keep on going. Thank you.
Richard, awesome. And I've also heard you've been doing consistent role play with Coach Gabriel. Yeah, how's that been for you? You can unmute yourself again.
It's great. It's helping me. And, there's still times when I'm on the phone with a live client and I'm like, dang it, I did it again. I like the conversation's going fine and I like quickly get off the phone. So the role play and scripts and dialogue helps me to realize and point out those things and those blind spots that they keep coming up for me until we talk about it. We get positive feedback from each other. And there's a guy in there named Eric who just really, calls me out on some of the bad habits I have. But you know what? It's all about growth, and that's what this whole thing is. That's what this whole group is. So being a part of it, I'm here to get better. I'm not here to do anything other than to improve myself and to get better at my skills so I can reach my goals. Thank you.
Awesome. Gabrielle, if you're here, drop that link for anybody that wants to do a role play session just to experience that. I think there's a lot of people that can get value from that immediately. Because if you're scared to pick up the phone, this is for you. This is for you guys. Because you better be picking up the phone. And if you're scared to, you need some role play work so you can build that confidence. Josh, what's up, buddy?
Oh, I didn't know my line was open already. Sorry. I thought I was trying to unmute myself. It's already unmuted. So I thought this was a great takeaway. This is from one of the, I have a great icon agent in my sales organization, and we do huddles a couple of days a week for my group. And this was a great takeaway. It's not StreetText specific or anything. It's just something to be aware of. He told a story of how he was doing open house at a listing and was talking with one of the interested buyers who was currently renting, right? And normally, in the current market, we want to be working with sellers, et cetera. But he kind of got a great conversation going with this renter, found out that they were renting a single family house. So they weren't renting like a townhouse or, apartment or anything. And built enough rapport with that renter to connect. The renter connected him with the investor, the landlord of that property. And because those tenants are moving out, he's going to list their house too, the landlord's house. So I thought it was just great reminder or perspective to think that, lots of buyers, when we use, buyer-centric ads, lots of buyers, the majority in many cases, do have a home to sell, but even the ones that don't, they live somewhere. And if they live somewhere that it's not an apartment or whatever, there may be an opportunity to turn that homeowner into a client. Whether if the renter has a good relationship and they can make the introduction, great. If not, you can just, sort of blindly solicit them through some kind of mailer, right? It could be an unsolicited, mini CMA, or you could send them a golden letter, something of that nature. But in a lot of cases, if it's a small time, let's call it, small time landlord, that may be, they may not want to go through the hassle again, right? They may just be sick of being a landlord. And if you can tap into that, you may create some extra listing opportunities. So I thought that was a good takeaway to share. Yes.
And Josh, tomorrow I just set a reminder because you're a big Smart Alto user. Can you give just a real quick feedback on what Smart Alto is specifically and why it's helped you and maybe why someone maybe wants to come tomorrow to check that webinar out?
Yeah. So as you're looking to scale your business, right, there's really only two ways to scale. You can scale through technology, right? And creating leverage that way, or you can scale through people, right? And creating leverage that way. And Smart Alto is kind of like both of that. And you don't have to hire a person on. You can outsource a text-based ISA. So that's what they're doing. They're text-based ISA that will get you appointments on your calendar. So that they text your leads to identify which of them are most motivated and will directly schedule appointments on your calendar. And I've been using them since late summer, actually at the recommendation of the same guy that I shared that takeaway from. Jacob is the fellow's name. He recommended that I check them out and use them. And in that time, I think I've been averaging, they schedule on average anywhere from 15 to 20 phone appointments per month for us. And they're using a combination of technology and actual people, right? So this isn't like Julie, or if you're familiar with Ylopo, this isn't Raya, where it's AI, right? Artificial intelligence. It's a combination of strategic scripting, but then when people engage, there's real people that are having conversations and getting them scheduled onto your calendar. And so you get calendar appointments. The other thing you get is kind of like a hot list of people that have engaged, but they weren't able to schedule an appointment. So it gives you, if you are making outbound phone calls, it gives you a list of people that are maybe warmer, because they've already had a conversation on some level or have responded on some level. And Hassan, I think, is the guest. Hassan is the CEO and founder, wicked smart dude. He's been on the stage at NAR and been published in trade publications. Really good. You guys are going to love it. He's great, and the platform is great. And I would say for most people, this is my opinion, for most people, it's the most logical. If you're looking to hire or create leverage because you're too busy to do the work of scheduling appointments and so forth, it is the most logical, at least to consider, in my personal experience. And again, in my personal experience, been way more profitable than an actual phone ISA. Personal experience. I've done both. I've paid for both. And I've definitely found that to be a much greater ROI. Steve Burkick, you know what? Let me pull that up and I'll give you an answer. We might want to, maybe we can pop back to me. He asked how many leads to get those 15 to 20 appointments per month. I got to pull up the numbers.
Yes, and Jacqueline, this is Smart Alto. We have a webinar tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It will be recorded if you can't make it. Anyone have any questions for Josh specifically on that topic before we move on to more shares and wins? Dimitri, was your topic related to Smart Alto?
No, I wanted to follow up on earlier comments about video.
Okay, before we go there, let's see if there's any questions particularly for Josh.
I mean, the main question I have is just the cost, but I'm sure that will be covered tomorrow.
And the way it works, and this is terrible. I don't remember. You can pay monthly or the year, and basically the way it works is that gets you so many new leads per month, and I think it's like 0 to 100, 100 to 200. And maybe 200 to 300. I think I pay for the middle package. It's like 200 new leads per month. And I think I paid 4,200 for the year or something like that. The nice thing with it is like, that's new leads. They don't stop working your old leads. So it's like, your database compounds. Steve also asked, are you using your own database or just incoming leads? So it's all new leads. And also, depending on like what package you sign up for, you can have them start working like up to 1,000 old leads or up to 2,000 old leads. So I put a link. For those of you that don't want to wait for tomorrow, you can schedule a free demo. I put a link in the chat, growwithjosh.com/smart. And then for Steve's question, I'm just trying to find that answer. So if I just pull up my Smart Alto dashboard, they've worked on some level 3,200 leads, which has turned into 165 appointments and 217 on my call list. I hope that. And they are available in Canada. Somebody asked, are they available in Canada? Yes.
At less than $400 a month, compared to the cost of an ISA, That's gold.
And I'm not disparaging any ISAs or whatever. I'm just, my personal experience is I am getting and have gotten exponentially more appointments at way less of a cost. Hassan's got it dialed in, that they do a great job.
And I just wanted to chime in real quick. The 100 plan, the 200 plan, they don't just cut you off at 100. They actually go a percentage above that. I think it's like 20 or 25%. I learned that from them when I used them before. Yeah. So if you had, say, 100, they may actually not cut you off until about 125. So you kind of get squeezed in a little bit more than what the plan gives you. So it's helpful. So it kind of helps you to, realize your cost a little bit better as well.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey, to learn more, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Brandon, go ahead and drop that link one more time in case someone missed it. Thank you. Right on it. Dimitri, what's up, buddy?
Hi, everyone. So here's my question. I've seen a few people talk about videos. I'm in the process of launching my YouTube channel, and I want to have a relatively reasonably regular posting schedule. And what I'm trying to figure out is how to create the content calendar and how to plan those videos for HomeBot distribution. And there are several questions here. So one of them is how many videos is too many for people who do YouTube channels with regular content production? Do you send every video to HomeBot? Do you make videos specifically for buyers, specifically for sellers? Because it seems like it's difficult to manage this in HomeBot. So I just wanted to hear from people doing mass video production.
One of the biggest things you got to be careful of is overwhelming, because if you're giving out a video tip and you're giving out too many, there's no way they can keep up with you. So you want to turn around and have a good mixture, maybe a market tip or whatever, market thing of the month, once a month. You might have a weekly something just informative. But the other thing is, are you also using Facebook along with your YouTube channel?
Yes, what I'm looking to do is just to do central content production, distribution of content through multiple channels, hooking it in to new lead generation, including StreetText, and obviously HomeBot for the regular schedule updates, and also for video distribution. So just what I wanted to hear from people who are doing anything similar like this, mainly the biggest question, frequency of sending videos through HomeBot en masse. So you're suggesting a weekly? Is that what you're doing right now? This is kind of a general suggestion. Other people who are doing something similar.
Anthony, this is Adrian. I do a lot of video. One thing that I can tell you is don't mix the channels. If you do YouTube, don't put it on Facebook. Facebook doesn't like that. There's like a distraction issue between users of one or the other and vice versa.
It's called suppression.
You can do daily videos, but I would also combine real estate knowledge, like you're telling your buyers or your sellers on HomeBot strategies or what's happening in the marketplace or stats, and just make sure that your content is varied. And you can do, twice a week would be fine. People like that. They even expect that. You create an expectation.
So are you doing weekly emails through HomeBot, video emails, or you use a different schedule?
I just started with HomeBot, but I've done video and I email my videos to my database. That works well. Gotcha. But I just started with HomeBot, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But having done videos on and off over time, I think twice a week is a good idea, as long as they're fun, they're entertaining, length has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the content.
Facebook suppresses their competition, which makes sense. So the thing is, if you want to share a video from you that you're going to put on YouTube, either take it in the native format, like if you're doing it from your phone or whatever, do a straight upload to Facebook, so that Facebook, when it looks at it, reads it as non-competitive. And then after you upload it to your YouTube and you write it out for whatever you want, take and copy that text and paste it into your Facebook channel with the link, push them to your YouTube. But that's where you get the conflict otherwise. And like I said, with HomeBot, once a month to a mass send to a buyer, or once to a seller, or you know, if it's something you can do both, send both.
Gotcha.
And Dimitri, we use HomeBot and send out a video monthly, but it's also done in conjunction with the drip systems, the action plans that we have them on through our CRM. So you want to make sure to schedule it appropriately.
And another question, somebody was mentioned earlier that you could message people one-on-one through HomeBot or send a video one-on-one through HomeBot. I've been all over HomeBot. I could not find exactly where to do one-on-one messaging in HomeBot, including the video. Is this, can anybody point me in the right direction?
Yeah, I'll go into my HomeBot dashboard and I'll send you a private DM.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Jeff.
Awesome. Great stuff, guys. Continue this conversation. What else do you want to share? Do you have anybody that had a win they wanted to share earlier but didn't get to? Let's keep on going with the wins, or we can continue this conversation. I like always asking your favorite integrations. You know, for a lot of people.
Yeah. I have a question actually. So
yes.
My wife is a lender, and you were saying something about partnering with a lender. Was that just for what was that? The home? Yeah. Well, I don't understand that. So how do we partner with a lender on one of those?
So from my experience, unless someone wants to ask you, if you find a preferred lender, it opens up the video integration, the BombBomb integration within HomeBot. And so you can now get all your videos inside of there, but you have to have a preferred lender partnership to be able to do that.
All right, thank you.
It's not just the video integration, Marcus. You don't have access to the buyer side at all without a lender co-sponsorship.
Okay.
Yes, awesome. Go ahead. If you guys go into your dashboard on StreetText, and you want to, I'll just do a quick share of my screen. So there's the tab right in there that shows you all our webinars. So if you go to dashboard, like as you log in, and then you go to recent webinars, there's the one here that you're going to want to watch if you're more interested on that subject alone. It was a good one. We had, I think, 160 plus live people there at that moment. So definitely a great one to check out, as well as you know, some other good stuff. You know, there's Linnea right there talking about how she follows up with seller leads and more. So this is always a really great resource for you. Just remember, it's right there in your dashboard.
So I'm just in the trial version, but I had a win just as far as getting the referral. A client had a home here that he put his address just because he was curious, and it was like 4.2 million. But he wasn't interested in selling that. He wanted a realtor to help him sell his home in California, which is right around 11 million. So I found a realtor in California, and they got it all worked out, and it's going to be listed next week. What? So 30% of the 11 million, not bad.
What? In your trial?
Yeah.
That is incredible. Hey, good job. You must have had a rabbit foot or something with you. So where is that home for 11?
Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach. Wow. Oh, there you go.
The beauty behind that is the fact that rather than give up on a lead like I'm not getting it, managing and maintaining your database wisely. I give referrals all the time. That is such a nice thing that you look up and get a check in the mail and go, what was this? And it takes you a minute to realize it was something you did before. That's what just powers my ads and powers my systems. No work involved other than looking up an agent if you don't have one, passing it on. So when you see people inviting you to share your name to do referrals, what's the harm? Because it might be them sending you something instead of the other way around.
Tommy, where are you located?
Reno, Nevada.
All right. So that's huge. So that'll take care of some marketing for you for a while.
Yeah, our median home price is like 550 to 600,000 now, so it's crazy here. Congratulations.
That doesn't always happen in a trial, guys. So when it does happen, it's exciting, but don't set those expectations so high, right? Because that's gonna, fill you up. And now it's about building your systems. If you're in trial, get that domain set up if you haven't already, and start building out those automations. Consider the integrations that you're going to be leveraging, right? This is where you'll start building that out, and you'll quickly start seeing the fruit. And the fruit, I think, should be a reflection of conversations that you're able to get started. Conversions will happen through those conversations.
Yes, 100%. So Jeff Mass, who I see right there, awesome agent. If you're ever looking for somebody in Orange County, super cool guy. And so something you shared, Jeff, that I thought was really interesting is that in your first year, when you were with first year of StreetText, you did 80% of your listings from StreetText. You got them through HomeBot, and I think that's like really important. So Jeff obviously has a thriving business. He's growing. You've done 950 plus deals in real. You've been at this for a while. You've built a clientele, and so you're looking for additional deals and to sort of supplement the business. And so I think you did 4 or 5, was it, in your first year?
Yeah, we did 5, and then we had 2 in the pipeline that rolled over to the second year.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So first year did 5 with StreetText, and 4 of those 5 came from HomeBot. Is that right?
4 of those 5 were on HomeBot. They didn't come directly from HomeBot, but once we got them through StreetText, they automatically go on to HomeBot, and HomeBot is incorporated in the drip that we send out too.
Yeah, so that is super cool and shows the power of having a tool like HomeBot working on your behalf in the background. So my question for everybody is, who would like to know what Jeff did on HomeBot to get those 4 listings? I see hands. Jeff, would you share a little bit about how that worked?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I did anything special on HomeBot. HomeBot in and of itself is a great tool. I have learned that I no longer automatically push out a HomeBot evaluation without checking it first, especially in the crazy market we've seen in the last year and a half, 2 years. Many of these values are off. And I know Leon's got a great theory that some buy into, some don't. I don't. That it's a good thing to send them out a bad value because it generates some conversation. That's not a conversation I want to have, quite honestly. So we do go in and tweak our HomeBot report before the valuation goes out. But first off, they get an introduction video explaining HomeBot, what it is, how it works, what it will do for them. And then they just go on the maintenance schedule of getting pushed out that valuation on a monthly basis. I wish there were a system to be notified as opposed to having to go into the dashboard to see every time somebody opens it up to check their valuation. So we do that manually, and that's been key, is touching base with those people that have opened up their HomeBot report, and just first a phone call. Hey, see you opened up your report. Just wanted to follow up, see if you had any questions. Typically, that segues into a conversation about their future plans. And that's how we were able to capture, I want to say 3 of the 5 were through follow-up conversations after they had opened up their report. And again, it's a little bit time consuming because you have to go in daily to see who's opened up their report, but man, it's paid off big time.
So you hear that. So when somebody has actually opened their report on HomeBot, look after those people, and then you would tag them, right?
Absolutely.
And then do you send an email as well?
We send a follow-up email depending on how the conversation has gone. It may be a different email depending on the temperature of the conversation and the motivation level of those particular sellers. But yeah, I mean, we put them on a different action plan, a different drip system after we've spoken to them and can gauge their level of involvement and motivation.
Yeah, so that's the power of having a system that's now working for you. I just think that's so smart. So you have HomeBot that's then sending out those monthly reports month after month. And when somebody logs into HomeBot and checks their value, you can see that they check their value. And when they do that, now you know this is the cream of the crop. These are people who are ripe and they are looking to have a conversation. They are ready to have a conversation at this point. And those are the people that you can then identify that, hey, I should pick up the phone, call them. That's working smarter, not harder. I love that. I just think that makes so much sense. And when I heard that that was where the bulk of your listings came from in your first year, that makes so much sense.
We got some questions.
One thing on the back of that though, Jeff, here's what I had said. I do tweak my values when I load them over, because when they come to StreetText, I go ahead and I look, I update all the information there and I push them over. But what I had said before was, when you have such a large database, when you initially go over to HomeBot, you're not going to be able to tweak every one of them. So what I elected to go for was what I call quantity over quality, speed on the lead, was at least to get the conversation going. So when I get called out on it, I said, I laugh and I agree and tell them they're totally right. And I go back to like Marcus's line of saying about, I want them to know what the public thinks their home is worth. And now that I got the conversation started, I can update it and I can update that lead and get it going. But I don't just blind throw them all out there. I just, like I said, there's no way when you throw 2,000 plus leads, you're going to be able to do all of them. I'd still be at it right now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Leon. And for the past leads, we're not going back there and touching them. But I mean, we're averaging anywhere between 1 to 3 leads coming in through StreetText on a daily basis. So as they come in, before we send out that HomeBot valuation, it takes literally 30 seconds. If you've got knowledge, if you've got product knowledge of your area, it doesn't take long to tweak it or make sure that it's close to being accurate. So now that we've got the system in place, we just knock them out as they come in on a daily basis.
One other recommendation, and I'll get out of the way here. One other recommendation, when you push them over to HomeBot, go into your MLS, check the house, because a lot of times the bathrooms are off or other things like that. So when you tweak it in HomeBot, don't just do the value. Make sure the square footage, beds and baths are correct, and then push it out.
Hey, Jeff, I have a question for you real quick about your process. So do they come in first through StreetText? Then do you have like a funnel in StreetText that has maybe a video that says, hey, we're going to push you to, HomeBot, introduce them to HomeBot, and then it goes into your CMA? How do you do that?
That automation isn't done through StreetText. That automation is done through HomeBot. I record a video when I push out that introduction to HomeBot. So no, I'm not sure. I'm not that smart. I'm not sure how you would do that through StreetText. So it's just a lot easier. Quite honestly, it's easier to do it with BombBomb. Is do your introduction video and just superimpose yourself. Use a screenshot of the HomeBot itself. Run them through it with your introduction while it's going on.
Oh, so you're actually, so if you get the lead, then you go in and do the video and show them their HomeBot
Exactly.
and walk them through.
Okay. And Gia, it's a generic video. I'm not customizing it for each individual.
Right. Okay, you're not customizing it for each individual. It's just a generic email that shows them a digest.
It shows them the functions of HomeBot, what they can do with it.
Okay. And you're doing that BombBomb in HomeBot, and it's in HomeBot.
Correct.
That video. Okay.
Correct.
I have a thing for Jeff also.
Nobody ever has a thing for me, Stephanie, so that's great to hear.
Well, I have some information for you. Jeff Moore at Osiris, OSIRS.co. They have an integration with Follow Up Boss, because I'm pretty sure you use Follow Up Boss. And if somebody opens their HomeBot, you could get a notification, an email notification through the Osiris integration. I want to say it's like $80 a month.
Yeah, no, Stephanie, I appreciate that. I'm aware of that. I've talked to the Follow Up Boss people, and they turned me onto that a couple of months ago. So we're looking into utilizing that right now.
Cool.
Jeff, just a quick follow-up on HomeBot. So what is your speed to lead? Do you have somebody check all activity in HomeBot in the morning, in the afternoon? Do you call them right away as you see any kind of activity? Or do you do them in batches, like, I don't know, daily, weekly, whatever? How does it usually work, speed to lead?
End of day, no later than 5 o'clock, someone will have eyes on HomeBot to see who has opened up their report. And as soon as we acknowledge that they've opened it up, boom, we're on top of them with a phone call. In the very least, if we don't reach them via phone, then we're sending a follow-up email, and we're circling back the following day with a phone call.
But emails, are these personal direct emails or these emails through HomeBot? Because I'm still not seeing how to send a message through HomeBot.
Dimitri, I haven't had a chance to go into my HomeBot dashboard to show you how to do that, but I promise I will.
No problem. Thank you.
But understand, the emails we send as a follow-up aren't done through HomeBot. Those are just straight emails out of my CRM.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to check, because sometimes people say message somebody through HomeBot, and this is a bit confusing because I couldn't find the functionality in HomeBot, but obviously you have their emails anyways, right?
Awesome. We got a question from Jackie.
Jeff, when you don't find that when you are saying, hey, I noticed you looked at, and then you're following up, you don't notice that people are like standoffish because you creeped on them, you're like tracking them or anything? You don't ever have that response?
No, it happens, Jackie, but I mean, if you don't reach out, what's the point of even using the HomeBot? So yeah, I mean, look, we're going to get rejection. Absolutely. I don't get that creeper response that, hey, I feel really uncomfortable that I just opened it up and here you are. But I mean, they'll be honest with you. They'll be, yeah, we're just curious, and that's great, but that's engagement, and that starts a conversation. So, I mean, nobody's ever said, stay away, you're stalking me. So we don't get that response. But again, I mean, my feeling is if we don't try, we're not gonna see much. So it's, I'd rather make that phone call than not make that phone call and just have another lead sitting in HomeBot.
Yeah, and you could open that however you prefer. I mean, whatever you feel most comfortable with. That's the beautiful thing about phoning someone is you get to choose how you start that. So you could say something like, hey, I was just checking in and just seeing if you need if you have any questions on the real estate side, if you need more assistance. And just the timing happens to be perfect because that they just checked their value. So yeah, so you can introduce that however you prefer.
I got a question.
I see Steve's got a great line is, just say that your system notified you that you had opened up your HomeBot report, or you were on our website, or whatever the connection might be.
Yes. Question for everybody here. There's 76 of you still here. How many of you have an automatic StreetText email that goes out that looks and feels like this with BombBomb? Please, in the chat feature, tell us if you have at least something going out with the BombBomb video introducing yourself as soon as someone provides their email in any one of those home value funnels. That's what I want to know. Use the chat feature right now. I wish I could run the poll. I should have thought about this so we can actually do a poll on this. But do you have at least the video shooting out to introduce yourself and communicate your process? Because I think if you do not, that is a huge opportunity for you.
Oh my gosh, yes. Sorry, I'm not muted. I do have something to say.
Go for it.
So the thing is yeah, you cannot complain about the system unless you personalize the system, because that is what's going to get you your followers, your lovers, not your lovers. But you know what I mean? Your tribe. Like, you want to put your video out there so that people can know you and love you and work with you. So if you don't have that set up, do that.
Wendy, how many videos do you have shooting out in your StreetText automations?
I think I'm up to like 9 or 11, something like that. And it's just like all different kinds. So.
And those are all in like what, the first few months?
Yeah, first couple months. Obviously I'm like trying to hit them pretty hard at first and then they just trickle off. But I still have them all set up on HomeBot. So they're all still getting, you know, monthly reports from me. Plus I send them out videos through HomeBot, because you can send all your homeowners random videos whenever you want. And so, yeah, I think when I finally meet with them, they kind of feel like they know me, which is cool.
Exactly.
That's what you want.
That's what I was gonna say. So you have maybe 9 videos in your StreetText automations, and then you have HomeBot shooting out video, and then any other videos going out that they'd be getting?
Just like if sometimes, like if I do a CMA drop off, I do a video holding up the CMA, just saying, hey, check your front door. I dropped off some information for you. So they get that video too. And I send that through text. Yeah.
Another question I have, because we were asking about this earlier, is where are you introducing HomeBot in that timeline?
Ira, sorry, he's gonna tell people they can find their lover through a video.
Well, I just thought, Wendy, like you're meeting people. We all meet people. I met my wife through my occupation. So who knows? Like if you don't have a lover while you're looking for clients, you might find that special somebody.
That is true. Perfect way. Because if you're out there,
like, and trust. That's where it all starts.
If you're married, I guess it'd be the side piece you'd find.
Stop.
Leon.
Leon. Anyway, sorry, what was your question, Marcus?
So the question is, like Jeff has a process with HomeBot where he immediately gets them that report. He goes and tunes it and makes it custom. But where are you within the StreetText pipeline and the automations where you have these killer videos going out? You've also updated Julie, the text message, to be more personality friendly, which I love. But where in that equation is HomeBot being introduced, and where do they get that HomeBot digest?
Yeah, so I like to run a CMA first. So, because I want to make sure HomeBot's numbers match my numbers. So I give it a couple days and then it'll go, it'll be like, I hope you're enjoying your HomeBot report, video. And then there's another one that goes out after that saying, here's your HomeBot report. This is how you use it. These are the tools you have, so I do like a screen share to show everybody how to use it. Yeah, they love it. So it's definitely a good thing to have.
If I recall, I remember, and tell me if you removed it or not, I remember you also had an automated HomeBot video in the StreetText sequence introducing what HomeBot is.
Right. So the first one I send out is, I hope you're enjoying your HomeBot report. And I just kind of give them an idea of, shoot. I know a lot of people signed up to see it. So did anybody see it last week when Jeff did? Okay, good. Yeah, it's just a quick little video about, setting them up on HomeBot, blah, blah, blah. And then there's another one, I think it's day 7 now, because I kind of moved it up a little bit, that, gives them a detail on how to use HomeBot. So
awesome.
There's a couple different ones.
So many opportunities, guys. And that's what I was saying. Start with that intro video and then just work your way back. And one of the things I recommend is, come into an automations workshop with Ira, because he can show you all the ways that you can add in additional emails. Like I've seen people, Wendy's done it, Linnea's done it, where they add an additional email in that sequence, maybe the value of community, introducing a local coffee shop or one of your favorite businesses locally. Like if you can intermix your real estate professionalism with like who you are and your personality and being fun and some of your likes and interests, I find that'll be a way more attractive automation sequence, because again, if our whole goal is to know, like, and trust, that's a huge element, right? This is why I remember even Wendy was one of the first to put like her Facebook profile on the bottom and let's be friends, right? Facebook message me type of thing. That's a huge opportunity to connect.
Right, because you want people, yeah, and that's the best way to get to know someone, right? when you hear of someone, isn't that the first thing you do? You Google them, and what's the first thing that comes up? Social media. So they're already stalking you, but here's a link to get to know me. So you're just putting it out there. That way they don't feel like a stalker, and then they're getting to know you.
Hey, and Marcus, for those, especially for the newer people that haven't necessarily set up their automations in StreetText yet, that want to get a running start, if they're into their CRM and they're comfortable with their CRM, I would just set up, Wendy uses Follow-Up Boss a little bit differently than I do for this, but I mean, we've set up action plans that they go right into after the first response from StreetText. We've received your home valuation. That one is customized in the StreetText automation, and then they're already email parsed into the CRM where they drop into an action plan. So if you're not comfortable or you haven't yet set up your automations with StreetText, but you are comfortable with your individual CRM and have the ability to do that, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard a guy with his KV Core do the same thing. We ended up turning off all the StreetText automations. He had already a massive seller plan built with video, with everything, with his email signature, and so it was just a matter of a couple buttons, integration, and then he lets his automation do its thing. So if you already have something like that built out, that's another opportunity.
That's good. So question for everybody: who knows what your most valuable online asset is? I see a hand.
Sorry, definitely it's my website.
Your website? Yeah, it's a good asset. What else? What else could it be? Even more valuable than a website?
Yourself.
You? Yes, you're the most valuable.
Your phone.
Your phone's good. It's your list. It's your list. It's the email list, the phone list, like the people that your leads that you've captured. That is your most valuable asset. I love real estate because in real estate, whenever you invest in real estate, like let's say you do an addition or update your kitchen, invest in the floors, you name it, you know that you're putting all your money into equity. So when you invest in that, as long as the ceiling of the neighborhood is more than the value you're putting in, you know that you're getting equity, you're putting your money into something that's an investment. In business, your most valuable online asset is your list. It's just, that is where that's your tribe. It's the people that are following you. It's who you can communicate with. It's every single person that you can reach and build a following with, who, when they need your services, they now know you, they like you, they trust you, and they've already determined that you're the number one person they're going to work with. It's your list. The list is your most valuable asset. And when you build your list, like your email list, it's one thing to have a list, but it's a whole nother thing how you communicate, which is why, like Marcus, you're talking about there, putting video in, and Wendy, because you want to establish a relationship with your list. You want to establish a relationship with the people, and it's not about having the world's biggest list. You obviously want to grow it, but it's about having the most personal list. You want to have the people that actually know you, trust you, like you, and are building that relationship. But then the key, and this is where I think a lot of people miss, which is why like Jeff's HomeBot strategy and then other examples here, is that at some point you need to have a reason to have an appointment. You need to have a reason to have a conversation. You need to have a reason to get the person off the fence. And so they're in your office or you're meeting them for coffee and you're talking about, okay, what's next for your personal goals when it comes to real estate. And let's take that next step together. So that's really, really key. And so in your automations, just as important as to audit them and make sure that you have videos that are nurturing them, also audit them and make sure that you have short emails and short questions going out that are prompting and asking for a conversation. Because if you've spent a month nurturing them, make sure that you are harvesting the fruit that you are growing. Like you are investing in this, you are watering this. Make sure there's an opportunity for somebody to respond with you and have that conversation. And text message is a great way to do that as well. So if you have a follow-up automation and say 1 month in, you've done a good job of setting some like, hey, here's your HomeBot, here's your list, here's whatever. Send a text message that says, hey, have you had a chance to check out HomeBot? Did you have any questions? Send that 1 month later. You're like, you should be getting your updated report. Let me know when you got it. Send that text. Just because you want to keep offering opportunities to have that conversation, and that will turn into more deals for you at the end of this year. So it's really simple, but it's a really important audit.
Following off the back what you're saying, Jonathan, timing and cycles is important for most of us. Like I've got a big build I'm gonna be sending out over the next week and a half, because the middle of June school starts getting out. People that have been sitting on houses not wanting to sell, knowing how fast they sell, know that, you know, hey, if I only got 30 days to get out, if my house goes on the market the first week of June. So right now, people should be making a big push for their area based on when folks are getting their kids out of school, to get them moving in the directions you want. And even buyers are looking at that point, because school is the big disruptor that interferes with a lot of things that, you know, people don't want to be living out of a box or packing a box or whatever. They figure, hey, if I sell my house, I close the end of June, I've got time, the kids get out of school, we can get packed up and get out of here, something a little more orderly. So rather than miss the boat, you got to look at the cycle and follow it based on the lists you have as well.
Yes, 100%.
Wisdom bombs. All right, remember, we're at the top of the hour now, so this is the kind of time to wind it down a little bit and just reflect on that one thing that you're going to take away from this mastermind. What's the one thing that you're going to do? Take an
Who's
action.
going to check their HomeBot and see who's opened their report?
Or who's going to make that first video, right? Just the first one.
Well, for the market school of stalking, a lot of people forget to use the StreetText platform to go in there and see what other social media platforms that folks are on, to go run them down.
Love it. Stephanie, you got a question?
I did. I think I posted this in the group the other day, but is there a way, Wednesdays are hard for me because I'm usually not available at this time. Is there a way to find the chats? Y'all are forever, I watch on YouTube and y'all are forever having a discussion in the chat, but I can't see the chat when I rewatch on YouTube. Is there a way to download that or something? Post
John?
it in.
What happens in the mastermind stays in the mastermind. We could probably pull a list, but that's the best benefit of being here if you can make it, for sure. It's just, yeah, I love the chats. Always get a good joke.
You miss out on the links too when everybody's popping links in there, and you miss out on those yummy things too.
Yeah, that's the part that I can't find is the links, really.
That's a good idea. We should put together a little digest.
We just got to figure out how to make this time slot a non-negotiable. You know, I read a book once. It was called Hold On to Your Nuts. Non-negotiable, unaltered terms. You know, think about what those non-negotiables are for you, and you build your life around it. Awesome. Any last second questions before we let you go? Hold on to your nuts. All right. Well, thanks for coming, guys. It's been an awesome mastermind. And go out there and take that one thing, make it happen. If you have anything that you want to add on to this conversation, just go ahead and post it in the StreetText Insider discussion. And then just remember, tomorrow, check out the Smart Alto webinar at 11 a.m. You can register for that. It's also in the announcements section or the featured section of the Facebook Insider group.
Yes, and you're awesome. I really appreciate you. And remember, there are people waking up right now, today, who are starting their day, who are looking for their agent. This is the moment right now. And so remember, they probably are already in your database. So go find them, identify them, and this is a great week. It's gonna be a great month for you.
Hold on. Someone has a question, where to record a HomeBot video. You basically just record the HomeBot video with your phone or your computer, and you can upload it into BombBomb or YouTube and then put it into HomeBot. Does that help?
There's so many tips.
Thanks, everybody. See you
That
soon.
was really cool. Thanks, Wendy.
See you tomorrow for most